You're not obsolete, you're optional. What does that even mean? It's that feeling you get at 2 a.m. when you're scrolling the news and see another layoff. Look, it's not because you're bad at your job. It's because the things you mastered, they're getting cheap. AI doesn't have feelings, it doesn't hate you, it just doesn't need you for the same old tasks anymore. You're not obsolete, you're becoming optional. And that feeling in your gut, that's what we have to talk about right now.
You know, it all started pretty quietly, just a few days ago actually. OpenAI hires this guy, Peter Steinberger. He's the one who built OpenClaw. What's OpenClaw? Oh, just an AI agent that can handle your emails, browse the web, write code, and get this, it even fixes itself. This isn't just some tech headline you scroll past. This is the starting gun firing, for real. Just look at this number. 145,000 stars on GitHub in a few weeks. That's not just a little bit of interest. That is a full-blown wildfire. It's a huge signal that autonomous agents have taken a monumental leap forward. And the speed? The speed of this change is catching literally everyone off guard. So the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, he calls it the multi-agent future. Okay, let's translate that from tech bro speak, shall we? It means all the routine stuff in your job, the emails, the status reports, the endless scheduling, it's about to be run by something that's faster, cheaper, and never ever sleeps. And you better believe your boss is watching. All right, let's really get into this. That career playbook you were handed, the one that said, just work hard, be loyal, and you'll get promoted? Yeah, that playbook has been ripped to shreds. The entire architecture of our economy is being rewritten as we speak, and the old blueprints, they're totally useless.
I really need you to let this number sink in. A 118% increase in job cuts year over year. This isn't some forecast, it's a real, flashing red warning light. We're in the middle of a fundamental economic redesign. This isn't just a normal downturn. This is different.
And look, this isn't happening in some forgotten corner of the economy. We're talking about giants, household names. UPS, 30,000 jobs. Amazon, 16,000 corporate positions cut. These companies aren't just trimming a little fat here and there. They are fundamentally re-engineering their entire workforce for an AI-first world. And listen to this. The very people building this tech, they're giving us a blunt, direct warning. Dario Amodei, he's the CEO of Anthropic, one of the top AI labs out there. He says half of all entry-level white-collar jobs could be gone in the next 5 years. The writing isn't just on the wall. It's being broadcast on a giant billboard from the very top. So you might be thinking, what makes this time so different? I mean, we've adapted before, right? The Industrial Revolution, the internet. But here's the thing, AI isn't just another tool. It's a completely new economic engine. It's not about whole jobs vanishing overnight. It's about the individual tasks, the very building blocks of your role, being automated, one by one, right out of existence.
And this new engine, it runs on a totally different kind of fuel. You really need to get this term, outcome procurement. See, the economy is shifting. It's moving away from paying for your inputs, your hours, your effort, and it's starting to pay only for verified final results. The old playbook paid for hours on a timesheet. The new one, it pays for the solved problem. Value is now directly tied to the outcome. And guess what? AI is becoming the fastest, cheapest way to get that outcome.
Now, when this happens at a massive scale, you get something called domain collapse. It's when an entire field of expertise, something that took you years to master, gets transformed into a super fast automated process almost overnight. Just think about that. Your specialized knowledge, the very thing you thought made you valuable, is becoming a utility, like electricity. Just flip a switch, it's always on, and it's incredibly cheap. This is a huge systemic threat, and it requires a strategic defense, the kind of architectural defense that career architect Dr. Roberts helps professionals engineer every day.
And this leads to a place that, well, a lot of you might recognize. It's called the expert trap. Does any of this sound familiar? You're the glue holding projects together, but you never get the credit. You watch people who are way less qualified get promoted just because they know how to play the game. Or maybe you're so good at your technical job that management literally refuses to promote you out of it. And underneath all of that, there's this low-level hum of anxiety about AI. If even one of those hit home, listen, you don't have a job problem. You have a positioning problem.
But here is where the story pivots. Here's the part everyone else is missing. This powerful new engine, it has a massive blind spot, a hidden flaw in the system. And right there, inside that flaw, that's where your future lies.
So this is the big question, right? If all the technical expertise you've spent years building can just be turned into a cheap commodity, what's left? What is actually left? Where do you find your value now? The kind that's defensible? The kind that's irreplaceable?
Well, the answer has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Your real, lasting value, it's not in the clean, orderly world of spreadsheets and data. It's in the messy, ambiguous, political, and deeply human stuff. It's in all those places where there's no clean data to analyze, and no single right answer. AI is terrible at the human stuff.
We call this your human X factor, and architecting your career around this, that is the new operational blueprint for success. This isn't about writing better prompts or learning the next new tool. It's about finding and amplifying the one thing the machine can never, ever fake.
So what exactly is this X factor? Well, it's things like your judgment when everything is chaotic. It's the empathy you have to lead a team that's cracking under pressure, or to hear what a client isn't saying. It's your sense of timing, knowing when to push and when to just wait. It's navigating ambiguity when the map is useless, and it's the sheer resourcefulness to make something happen when the original plan is completely fallen apart.
I want you to picture this. The engineer who gets that gut feeling that something feels wrong, and they stop a release, even when all the data says go. That's not a technical skill. That is pure human judgment. It's an intuitive sense of the entire system that no AI can replicate. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Or how about the project manager who sees the burnout, the fear in her team's eyes before a huge deadline? What does she do? She doesn't send another nagging email. She calls a timeout. She stops everything and just says, "Okay, let's talk." That isn't just project management, that's real leadership, that's empathy. And that is the kind of value AI will never be able to touch. Okay, so identifying your X factor, that's step one. But the next, and this is crucial, is to actually architect a career that monetizes it. This means you have to make a deliberate shift. You have to stop seeing yourself as just expert labor and start positioning yourself as a strategic asset. This transformation, by the way, is the absolute core of the architectural work that career strategist Dr. Roberts does with his clients.
So this strategic pivot, it really comes down to 3 clear steps. First, you got to admit that your current career architecture, well, in engineering terms, it's deprecated, it's obsolete. Second, you have to define a completely new value proposition for yourself, one that's built around your unique human X factor. And third, you need a personalized blueprint, an actual plan to make that transition a reality.
And you can't afford to get this wrong. Things are just moving way too fast. Guessing or using trial and error to plan your career right now, that is a really, really expensive way to fail. You need a deliberate, precise, engineered strategy.
And all of this brings us to a pretty stark choice. The ground is literally shifting under our feet. Sitting still, that is no longer an option. This right here, right now, is a critical decision point for every single professional listening.
So in this new AI-driven economy, where companies can do way more with way smaller payrolls, are you going to be the architect, the one designing the systems? Or are you going to become the obsolete component, the part that gets designed out of the system?
So if you're tired of guessing and you're ready to start competing on a field that's rigged against you, you can start by getting some clarity. Career architect Dr. Roberts developed something called the Career Clarity and AI Resiliency Scan. Look, it's not a course, it's not a webinar. It's a precise analysis designed to help you see your real risk and, more importantly, identify your unique edge. This isn't a hard sell. It's just the first logical step in architecting your own future. The choice, as always, is yours.